And it happened where the bullying started to increase, the sexual molestation started to increase. Everything that was there before the enemy had planted had amplified, basically. So my grades went downhill completely. And of course, it delved into when I got my school reports. So my school reports was just, how can you go from A to B to C to now D's, E's and F's? How? You know, when even though I was, as I said, even though I was going through the whole bullying and sexual exploitation, I was still maintaining my grades. But I thought at the time, as I said, that I thought that was affecting the situation. I thought that was the case, but it was not. My aunt had now collected my school report, or my grandmother, because my grandmother came on holiday, because my grandmother was residing in the Cayman Islands, and she would always come on holidays and that. So she went to go pick up my report, my school report from the school. And I remember she called my dad and said to my dad, "Oh, you don't want to see all these C and D, be C so till you want to drown." So you know the C. So yeah, anyways, she said that, but then at the same time, like, it was heart-wrenching for me, because again, I'm dropping, there's lots of things going on, and things are getting heightened, you know. It was just so much. So I remember going into grade 6 now, and again, before even anything was revealed, I just thought that was just the case, not realizing something was deeper. So anyways, went into grade 6 now, and in grade 6, whoever lived in Jamaica or went to school in Jamaica would know what I'm talking about. So we have to do a test called the grade 6 achievement test, and this test will determine which high school you attend based on the grades that you get. And again, everybody is looking to go to the top of the top high schools in Jamaica. Nobody want to go to the low ones, right? And remember, my grades was very, very much consistent as the years progress, until when I arrived in grade 5, and then now grade 6. Now I went to go sit my exam, and I kid you not, like, I remember seeing all the paper jumbled up, the work jumbled up, and I couldn't understand. I just thought that, okay, I'm just going through a moment. I never know that there was something much more deeper than that, right? So nonetheless, went to the exam, sit the exam, left. Fast forward now, the results came out. When the results came out, I passed for Christiana High School. Yes. Who know in Jamaica what Christiana High School represents? Is like one of them low high schools. Nobody could understand, like, how, like, it was just mind-boggling. And even for me, it was like mind-boggling. I would have been preparing, you know what I mean? And it was just weird. It was just weird. And nonetheless, it just happened that my mom now was in Jamaica. She was like concerned, like, what was going on, or before she came to Jamaica, rather. My mom is very strong on faith. God had given my mom a deep revelation of what was going on with me. And then when my mom came to Jamaica, and the prophetic pastor literally confirmed what God had told my mom, what had happened. So out of jealousy, the devil convinced somebody connected to my dad to harm me. And again, my dad does not know anything of this, because again, you know, my dad is a public figure. There's lots of jealousy. If you're getting attention as a child, that their other child, because my dad had many children, some of the children were not getting the attention that they ought to get. And again, it's the fault. It's nobody's fault. Again, it's the fault of whoever created them. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not here to put any blame on anyone. I'm just saying it was never my fault, but then I had to suffer the consequences of these things happening, right? And anywho, I remembered the pastor telling my mom, as I said before, and revealing everything that God had already revealed to my mom. So now God said, leave all vengeance to him. We wouldn't have anyways seek any revenge. Seek revenge for a while when we can pray. And God is the fighter of our battles. And when God licks very, very hot. So God lick even more painful than what we in our own flesh can even think. So therefore, when we leave our vengeance to God, He will avenge everything for us. And that's what we done and prayed. Yeah, and then God delivered. He done what He had to do. And thank God for His grace and His mercy. We can sit down. Yes, so right now, I can sit here right now in this chair and attest and protest to this, that God has delivered me. And I'm here right now in the flesh, right? Where I could have been 6'6" deep. But nonetheless, thank God for His grace and His mercies, and our praise is given unto Him. So anyways, as I said, done the GSAT, got the results. I passed for Christiana High School. And fast forward, as I said now, my families are now concerned. They're wondering what happened. And of course, it's a mind-boggling thing. Like, how did you pass for Christiana? And mind you, it was really, really upsetting as well for my family at that time. Even my dad. My dad was like puzzled, like, oh. Anyways, fast forward again. It was my graduation time, and not to say this to sound boastful, but my dad being a public figure, I was one of his first children that my dad attended a graduation for. So remember, my older brother, who is his son, he didn't come to his graduation. However, he would always make sure he send his things that he needs to get prepared for, like monetary wise, a word of encouragement, yada yada yada, because my dad had to always be on tour. Nonetheless, to have my dad at my graduation, and he was there. And I remember, anybody who lives in Spalding, Jamaica, so Spalding, Clarendon, Jamaica, would know the Pauline's, the Orange Plaza, all that big plaza there, are Sampo Supermarket, are those supermarkets that the Lynn families owned, basically. So Pauline was at the graduation because his son was graduating too. So his son, me and him, we were both in the same class, everything. And I remember Pauline asking my dad, which school I passed for? And my dad said, Christiana High. And the way how I heard this man gulped, like he was going to say, like he thought that my dad was going to say one of the top high schools, right? That was not the case. He gulped and he said, okay. All right. That's not bad. That's not bad. And the way how I wanted the ground to open and swallow me. Yeah. Shame killed me that day. Shame killed me that day. And anywho, let's fast track now to how I got into Knox College, because now I'm going to Knox College. You're wondering, how did I get into Knox College? Because to get into Knox College High, you have to, Knox College is one of those top high schools. So to get into Knox College High, you would have to get the grades, right? So how did I get into Knox College High? So I remember my mom now decided that she was going to transfer me, do a transferal request at the school. And when she done the transfer request, they declined it. Yes, they had declined the request. And of course, that killed me. But then my dad, being the superstar that he is, he literally came up to the school, and whoever knew the principal or the vice principal that was in charge in that time, it was Miss Haffenden. So who know Miss Haffenden, you know how grumpy she was at that time, right? Anyways, my dad now went in and everybody was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he went into the office and I don't know, he managed to speak to her, and by the time I look, I see handshaking, and you know, everything just worked in. And I was like, all right, okay, I guess it worked out. And yeah, that is how I got into Knox College High. Yeah, and as I said, there was just lots of things that was just still happening. Again, the sexual molestation and the bullying amplified, as I told you, right? But nonetheless, my life was restored in a sense where God delivered me from certain aspects, but certain things was still happening, right? But again, we will delve into it because we're on a journey of how God elevated my life, and you will see it. So stay tuned for the next one.